Nunavut mi ublaku chapapi ublumi mutikid ligutan nubat na 19 Nunavut inluaning ito tan nakuwenak to amma ublumi mutikid liguta ko kawi hakto humayud anang mga ta 1,358 amma 121 ni utakayu hulita ko nubat na 19 kang mga ta tan alnight Anja teilit si could twaalf naartoe tinga 105 rono takliger nele July 9 mutikid lugutana atong nele miyu amma June 29 pigar luguta ko TV ko tan would hanateli ataw hek pitang nelit man mago tak suta pitagalo apta June 29 pigar lugu hanateli ataw hek lugu TV ko tan nertego tan Monday ublakut 11 muarangan Iqaluit qawiya hauta atoglugo Monday ublakut 11 o'clock Iqaluit qawiya hauta atoglugo ta ko Nunavut miu matnawak miyakata ko Dr. Patterson pekoyat tangini malitsa tarapta ta tema malitsa tarapta ta ko unga higini ublalwa tangini agawa me chatane ta na Nunavut na 19 Nunavut iluaning ito holi tai ko tau inutu hibbi ublu 14 ta ko atoklugi ta ko lukta hunalukta piya wa atoklugi aula chang mata amata nuban na nubu iluani ngito holi kini tena ti kalwa ti ta ko malit chala lawu ta ko atwin na lawu tan menere chal luta uwaptini nagliyaptini pekan natini ta ko nunalitini amma awyang ngopalya may mat awya katchana puhi qawiya hatchalohi mat nawyuhi. Good morning. There are still no confirmed or probable cases of COVID-19 in Nunavut. The total number of people under investigation is 1,358 and 121 are still currently under investigation. Nunavut's public health emergency is extended for another 2 weeks to July 9. Starting June 29, we will have these updates on COVID-19 once a week, every Monday at 11 o'clock Iqaluit time. You have all done an amazing job listening to Dr. Patterson's public health advice, staying well, and keeping our community safe. We're still at 0 cases, which means our measures are working. And now is the time to stay on track, stay vigilant and aware, and keep up all your efforts. Let's make this summer a memorable and safe one. I'd just like to thank all Nunavut Mute for their understanding. Thank you. Who is it to?
Kent Driscoll, EPTN National News, and that depends on what you and Minister Hickes decide. The Yukon Territory announced yesterday that they're allowing Nunavut travelers to come to the Yukon without a 14-day quarantine period or any quarantine period. Did the Yukon government contact your government before making this announcement?
Thank you for the question. Yes, Premier Silver did contact me yesterday. Dan Yukon he would look there
Excellent. My next question is for Dr. Patterson. This announcement from the Yukon government, does this have any real practical effect to Nunavut here in Nunavut as far as COVID-19 prevention or following your measures go?
It doesn't change our plans right now. It does make it easier if people had plans or wanted to travel to Yukon, but immediate impact on what we're doing within the territory, no.
Gasi just sing to pamnautit tiniki sen ayong nangin na saw na to kina to ina la ko mapayukan mo taman na lot to ina hadjaga ne pag pamnautingin.
Koyanamik for the interpretation. I just want to be crystal clear on this. If someone who lives in Nunavut travels to the Yukon under those new Yukon measures, will you expect them to go through a 14-day quarantine upon their return, when they want to return to Nunavut?
Tukisit siya ako mamailata ko ano na bumiyo yukan mo nakatata ko ali utilik kataulo ni 14 ni aniteli kay nakakakayakan.
At this time, yes.
Okay.
Man na yo
One more for Dr. Patterson. A number of businesses here in Iqaluit have reopened or been able to expand their service over the last week. I'm wondering, have you been in touch with these businesses or into these businesses to see what's going on? And I'm wondering what your first impressions are of this week of larger opening.
Ajiging ito na minakakti tamane kalon ni tapani pinaso ako si mayo mimatuyak si malak ngata ilin no how yigala ka balo how yigala bigila ko higano si mga.
I've been into a few, and other staff have been into others or been into many as well. When I've been in, it's more of curiosity, and that's about it. Others have done formal inspections, and the reports that I've had have been good.
Tak ko isok si mayang yala ajiging ito kanayak tingilot how yiga hatak si mayot tanali how yigo malo mo kano itak mga isikay nak tumini kisya na itak ko ta how isak ta hatak to malo kano si mangito.
Jackie McKay, CBC News. Dr. Patterson, people are starting to wonder if the isolation bubbles or the hubs are going to lift soon. Are you planning on lifting the isolation hubs this summer, or is it going to be later than this summer?
Jackie McKay, CBC Kunik, Luta Patterson, tako isumayo kakatalang tuyok mi bino tubiyo kay nakeli kuya nakatawla lang mga tabani aw yang may nuk katitawla lang kay tuyok mi bimi kay nakatakayahan.
We would like to remove that restriction, but the four possible reasons for altering the travel restrictions, we haven't changed that, and there's no dates attached to any of those, so it depends on those circumstances.
Dan kuya nataw si mahu ligayak takalawo kisya ni suli asidjak taw si mangito tako aw lahat taw nam no tiki taw na nang mulo isulit taw beauty taw yun manaw ya asidjak si mangito kamalo kano nalo na taw si magani ulungani.
So just so everyone's clear, as a reminder, in-territory sustainable testing, effective treatment, vaccine, or near zero or minimal transmission in southern jurisdictions.
Ato kasi natsya ko luwila kay tutsiya lungalo imakaw yasa ko ti khatya legupta amalo inuli sa ti khalegupta ubalo ni solo kaputinik amalo kalunani siya mapalyagun ni kataba kuya naktaw si magunak sigayak to itamakwa.
In Ottawa, there's close to zero transmission, so is that still not meeting the criteria?
Araw milita ko siyang mapalyalo ako ng tanali asid sakta ko nang imasule.
It's impossible to, no, it doesn't. It's impossible to establish a bubble with Nunavut and just Ottawa, so for now we're holding off on that.
Aga asid jang ito tanaro ato matuyok taw gum nakayang ito tikib ilaw lakbyo hatta kayang ninga tikib biyo nak ningal.
Is it outside the realm of possibilities to be extending our travel bubble to the Yukon?
What?
Could we be considering a travel bubble to the Yukon?
Tako Yukon mo lahat tabiyo ko nak ninga tama ngalo utik takaw ti ko nak lutik tay may ko nakha.
It's a possibility, but it depends on some other factors, and their bubble also includes British Columbia, and they have the highway traveling through Yukon to from Alberta to Alaska. So there's a number of risk factors in there that neither my counterpart in the Northwest Territories and I were both a bit leery of at this point, so we'll wait and see how things go for a bit.
Inte mai kun natuin na realiu galoa kisa ni tamakwa singit isamalugi gattigu sulu British Columbia mu khattaun nangata malo at akutikuta hangata Alberta mi Alaska mo unnaktunik tamakwa jiging itu sulu uluga na kota mata takwa lununat siya mi utakwa peliri hatigi tamatsuminga isamalu hangata suli utakikay na lang ayuman.
My next question is for Minister Hickes. Nunavut right now are trying to travel within territory, but the Canadian North prices are just unaffordable, higher than they usually are. I guess why, like, what is the money for that the government is giving Canadian North if they're just jacking up the prices for airlines?
Tako Nunavut utamani Nunavut aulahat ako man ila aulahat ako law kalwa ka bigi kisa ni tako Canadian North Coast hangat daw ti aking akit tupadlok si mayu video akalo mata sumalita ko Nunavut ba makung ito ni situin nak si matilogit sumakit to kasi si mayu palo ba.
Thanks for the question, Jackie. And it's complicated to a certain extent. With our original phase of support for the airlines, it was based on historical use. With the second phase of support, we actually did a deeper dive into the financials and what minimum standards are to keep the airlines afloat. With regards to the pricing, our negotiations have not included that component of subsidizing public ticket purchasing. It might be a better question directed to the airline to see if there's any opportunities for them to provide any type of ticket relief within their financial model. At this time, we're supporting our duty travel and medical travel patients through the amounts that we're supporting the airlines of, but that doesn't include personal travel.
Tana kiu kasang lugar yung nakto kisa na sibulak pa mi Iqaluit tigilaw sa mayabutak ko katakaw naging hangatayo liriyut ang malutulya ni kinaw yali rin ang makinakot siya law sutatak ko tunikan nili yugat tigo ang malo tako aking inila na aye ko taw law ng mata hangataw di aking it tako alo hangatayo liriyut surlo tamak ko nga pivirat sertut sa yugalo akikiligar silut hangat taw tinik tako ali kayo to inak simagatigo ato hatalaw tabu malit tugi iknayak tinut amalo anak bilak tunu.
Can you clarify the GN money to the airlines specific? It's for medical and duty travel, but is that gone directly to buying seats on those planes?
To kasi naktiga ako tako ano na boga pa makung ikinaw yak tati sistema ning hangata yuli rejino anak bilak tunut ikanayak tinulo tako nungat akiles si magyak to tako hangat tawti.
Thanks, Jackie. Not specifically, no. What basically it is the money that we're providing to the airlines or the minimum need for them to remain sustainable in I guess in the negotiations, so that any seats that we do require, we're not having to purchase because we're providing that minimum base amount. So we're not having to purchase our medical travel seats or our duty travel seats. We already have purchased them.
Aga tako hang kinaw ye hangata yuli rejino taw simayot makimadjuti uga swatu inalaw nga tatako katatu inako nagi hangata yuli rejit ay ko taw simalaw nga tatako niwak taw simalutit sibaw tay niwak hatalaw simayabot kasi ano initay masurlo niwak simayot ito hangata taw tinitay may tugalo.
I'm going to turn to Natsiak News. The International Monetary Fund has said the economic downturn post-COVID will be worse than predicted. What is the GN doing to prepare?
Ama transfer no Natsiak Connect ko ano nakzami kinaw yali nakmo katudsa katigit ukaksima matakinaw yali ko tigun nakto katat tupalo lang at ano no kadjuang napidyo tigilugo kanu gava makusita matumo upalo ngayak simaban.
Thanks for the question, Emma. And again, not to oversimplify things, but because of the way our funding is modeled, we have realistically not a large portion of our revenue comes from own source revenues. And we still do have our mines that are operating, so the GDP is still being in a positive factor, predicted anyway. These are unprecedented times, so it's hard to actually grasp on. That being said, we are not looking at negative growth in Nunavut right now specifically, although we do have to bear in mind the impact on other jurisdictions and partner jurisdictions, so it's a continued assessment.
Tana to kasinakti ka sa lugila tamakwa kinaw yakta tayo hatar nevo adjung itu mata malo namin kinaw yan ipirok sa hatar nevo hatsin na mata kisani tayo yakam na biman na matuing ang mata taman na kinaw yan leo takaram na Nunavut may makita siyakto adjung itu ko katela taman nalo pirok pala na kinaw yan leo na neo atoy na kalang ayuga lo akambalo asingin niya bitok sa mabiyo ni atoy na kamarilo ni.
So there are many factors on, cost of goods, labor mobility. There's a number of different factors that we're keeping an eye on, especially when you look at the cost of materials for construction for projects that are either already approved or upcoming.
Adiging ito matayla at tuwing nakakunak to sulo. Aking it niugang o katak to ang maluyak kanayak takang ng mut. Tamakwalo ilot sa taga hakni sa nayaw gailin no tamakwa kawis at siyangin na lang ayaw aking ikutsuk kapal mga ta.
Next week, the agreement you have with the airlines is set to come to an end. Has there been any discussions around what's going to happen after June 30th in relation to your funding for the airlines?
Pinasaw sa lahat tumita ko sulilalang may makakatayuli rin yung kinayak taktit si Manisi. O kakatigit sa mabisita na June 30 kinunyago kinaktaw kanila mga ta.
It's still in a negotiation in process.
Suliayi ko daw yun.
I'm wondering, we're talking a lot about the isolation hubs, and they've been in place for quite a while now, and you don't necessarily see an end to them soon. I'm wondering, back when this started, were there discussions about any alternatives to the isolation hubs, and what were those?
Tako nila to yung may vino to view kay nakatakali mga natam mata maluman nako kuya naktaw jabal lang yung mata. Tako pigali sa atin luwi ukaw sa kakatalaw kasi asyago bigon nakto ni.
I guess in a lot of ways it was forced upon us. Like other jurisdictions, we had a mandatory 14-day isolation upon returning to the territory in place for a period of time. Again, like a lot of jurisdictions across the country. With our vulnerable population and with our remoteness and our testing capabilities and everything, and people were not following the mandatory isolation, so it kind of forced our hand to take this drastic of a step. It wasn't taken lightly. As far as other options would have been to continue going with the 14-day self-isolation for people returning, but that wasn't working.
Asyago pikalangin at tela tako uloy 14 asingin ni abitok si mabiyo unit ay makakit si malaw may mata na tami. Tako alo kanin masakay ko na nga ningin no tamani no na vumiyo tamalo kawi sa utekat siya lawngin at Tako alo ilang imalikat talawin mata asego pikang ito ko inuto kay nakatakaham ng mo taman na ismalon nam ning ano pimakalo tilaw at tigot ilang analira ako tigot na lawak to kalo tako tikit to ulo ni 14 ni naminik anit tayo lakataklo tikisani taman na ulat siya na kayong ima kuya na ako si mayuyang.
Dr. Patterson, please. Dr. Patterson, we're talking about travel bubbles a lot right now. Has there ever been any consideration for a travel bubble between Nunavut and Nunavik?
Luta Patterson ako siya pakalo katang ataman na aw lahat tang ng mood ima aw lak biugun nakto taw siya katang luti tikibyo katang luti Nunavut ang malo Nunavik is magayaw lang sa mga.
It's been asked about, but I It's harder to create a bubble with where Nunavut is part of Quebec, and the decisions are being made. Some decisions are being made outside of Nunavut, so we're trying to figure out how that might work. But it's very preliminary thoughts and questions.
Iya pek tahu sama yoga lo kisah ni ajong nang ngata man nakita uga so ako nang ninga Quebec mil isa maliw ko tira hatang ngata Nunavik mil laki ungit tunot kisah ni taman na pigali tayo nakto house liw balani nga.
So we know schools will open in the fall. Will community learning centers in the college reopen as well?
Ilin na be matulang na kayo kabigi kaya sak tako alikia sila to sabi me sila to sabi tambalo nunalinin nang no sila to sabi.
There's no plan to leave them closed at this time. So, yes.
Panda si mangit ta ko matujaw ga jam ningin ni. So matujaw kataw to indalakto.
Rajni Sharma, Nunavut News. Dr. Patterson, so it is 100% that schools will be open this fall?
Rajni Sharma, Nunavut News kun niluta Patterson 100% minalungila tita ko ilin na be matujaw ningin no kiatsa.
If the COVID situation in territory is the same as it is right now, then yes, the schools will be open. But there's going for the next little while until there's significant change around the world that we have to keep in mind there's a possibility of COVID-19 being in territory, and so we have to be ready to react to that.
Taman na nawadyo na kamani Nunavut mingi pat asukat si mangit kutalo matulak tu kasi ni kawi sa tsara hakata taman na asid siyang nakanunak jwali mami taman na siyang mapanlemat kasi ni tamani Nunavut mito kalang nakay sumasaksi ko di kanara hangayak tabo.
This is a general question. What are the major issues right now that are being discussed around COVID-19?
Tana kisutoy na nutuka nga yapik ko tita makoy sa maluti yo kano kausi katak kataman na nukat yo ang napindot sigilabo.
It's almost too vague to answer. Like, we're learning day by day new information that changes the approach around the world. Everybody is interested in when there will be a vaccine, when there will be reliable point-of-care testing, what's happening in the south and how that affects risk for Nunavut, how it affects risk of introduction of COVID-19 into remote communities, you name it. Sorry, there's too much in that question to discuss in the next hour. And Uli has to translate it all.
Tana nalo to kiu gasara nga ilipale hatta tela ullu tamat hawi magasok su telo nunak jami nutani to kisi nakto ni kanil to hapalle mga sulot kaputi ta halak nakat hawi sa ko te khatsal gutta hallo nani kanil palle mga tat uluga na ko tiyo yun na vumo amalo nunali no tamani nuna vumme kiu gasala gutana ayom nakto.
Dr. Patterson, those individuals that have been self-isolating down south, has there been any individual who has been kicked out of the self-isolation hub and has not been able to return to the territory since the beginning or the middle of March?
Luta Patterson, tako akalo na ito inutukay na takaya ito yung mibini. Anito yung kalok sa mapa tayo mga ni March ni pigalaw sa mamata ni tao na ni there have been, yes, there have been some people who have been asked to leave, ordered to leave the hotel premises by the owners of the hotels. There have been people who we have transferred to other hubs and they have successfully completed isolation that way. And there have been people who their employment circumstances or other circumstances changed, and although they were doing well, they chose to leave and left for other reasons. So. Aniga hakita yo khasimayo takununga to yo mevime awlat siyingin not ilangin nilo not tayo khasimayo asingin no nalakjoano to yo mevin not Tako inutugia haksimaningi tekoalo iqanaya qasaqtuugaloat hanuingitsaaqaluarsuti khujanaarsuti anituinnarsimayoqarniyo.
I just have a question, I guess, for the Premier. In case schools do not open in fall, has the GN thought about what will happen with the breakfast programs?
Tako matuikningi pataupiatsa ilinnerbi Nunavut government qassima patako ullaarummasartitsikhattarni qanuitauqayarmangata.
I know that the Department of Education is working on plans on opening, and if it doesn't opening, so all that would be inclusive in there, all their programming and all their schooling.
Tako oh, go ahead.
Tako ilinnertuderiku qauyumayunga ukkuernang mo partnerauyartu kihani ukkuerayangipa or ukkuiluktaanginnerpatta tako partnertaroyartu maarsati tako blaakut neriartu homot tako ilinnertuutigut ilinnerringmu taanna lukta taikani partner tangani iluaniaqatauyo.
Ken Driscoll, EPTN National News. Mr. Hickes. From my math, the amount of money granted to the airlines so far is around $24 million and counting, because the expectation is there will probably be another round of that. I'm wondering, at what point should Nunavut start to expect a return on investment aside from the airline's continued existence? Is there at some point where you've funded them enough money that you expect something concrete for Nunavut residents in return aside from the routes continuing?
Driscoll EPTN kundi Mr. Hickes tako nasaqsimayangi ullumimut 24 million tuniyausimayut qangatayuuliriinut qaakkanningaguulaartut sauvorlu niriuppissii tamakko kiinauyartaartitsiqattarnissinnu utirbiulaarmangaatsi soorlu Nunavummiulluunni pipaallerutiqalaarmangaata.
Thanks for the question, Kent. Actually, to a certain degree, I'd argue that we're already seeing a return on investment just with the amount of service that we're still getting. As a private enterprise, they would have, basically full right to limit their schedule in a way to make sure that they can remain solvent. But at the same time, we're demanding basically that they continue at least a minimum level of service, and that's what we're paying for. We need to make sure that these transportation lines are still open for people movement, for services, and for goods movement. So I know it's difficult, that it looks like we're investing, literally tens of millions of dollars into a private enterprise with no apparent return. But I argue that we are getting the return on investment by having those services available. We don't have any alternatives.
Rinamiket takwa utirbiussimaleriirtugu tamatumunga kiinoyaqartitsiqattarsimanittinnut piyitsiqartaunginnaqattarunnarsimagatta taakkuangila namminiqartiummata namminerlu aulatsimmata isulittabiqartitsigunnalaortuugaluat qanutigiqangataqattam unnarnerminik taakkuangila akilirsuqattigu tamanna ingiqqajuulirineq atuinnautsiaqullugu tamakkualu piyitsiqauti niuviatsaillu tamaunga tikiinnaqattarunnalaungata kisiani ajornartuugaluaq tamanna tukisigasoarlugu millions qasanginni tuniuqqaigatta namminiqartiujulut utiqpiujuujaaqata kisiani utiqpiussimayugu tamanna piyitsiqautinga atuinnuuqattarunnarmigana.
Jackie McKay, CBC News. For whoever thinks they can answer this best, this question is coming from the Facebook feed. Are there any thoughts on changing the hotel locations for the isolation hubs, preferably to hotels with kitchenettes in each room?
Jackie McKay, CBC kunniittaarnaagu Facebook ko aperiyoyo asijjirtau nearnerartausmabuat tujormiviuyu tamakko suurlu nirtiurbiralaaqarunnartinungaarluti.
Sorry, Jackie, I missed just the last sentence of your question.
Is there a consideration to changing the isolation hubs so that the hotel rooms each have a kitchenette in them?
I already said that.
Okay. Thanks. My lack of hearing, my apologies. Not at this time. It took a little bit of time to get these contracts in place right now, although it would be, for some people, it would be more advantageous to have kitchenettes per se, rooms. There's still that expectation of us to provide food services, so it would complicate matters and increase cost, where we want to make sure that people are kept as comfortable as possible. So not at this time.
Gaman lang ito tako contract akit sa tawag hasimamata inano nang nito tako nito bilin ni gumayit sa yugalo ilo gusirni mana ila niritit sa kata nirinakangin nilo payutaw katangata tay maasajak taw patakit to kaya ngata tamakko taw ningit akaw nakpanitit sika sa kalawak to tamakko ni ngato yung midin ni hatak to ni.
My next question is for Dr. Patterson. If Nunavut decided they were going to go over to the Yukon and they went over the top, coming back to Nunavut, where would they isolate? Would they have to go through an isolation hub, or would they have to self-isolate?
Dr. Patterson tako ano na bumiyo Yukon mo nakataw tilik kata na may natulot ito yung aniteliga kakayakan.
I'm not sure if there is even a direct route. They'd have to go through Yellowknife, and they'd wind up having to isolate on arrival in Northwest Territories. I think even if we changed our policy, but also our policy would still require it. So they'd wind up isolating in Yellowknife.
Tuwak ni hana tabiugun na panlang ito man na Yukon mo kasi ni utilik kada Yellowknife ko kataka hakayak to sa matataban inunat siya may inuto gato kay na kataka hakayak to taban ni tamango tilangon nangin.
Do you have any restrictions in place in this time about Nunavut returning to mines?
Isulit tabi hakata ko ano na bumiyo utak pala hatak to yakan na abin no.
Yeah, there's right now, there's only been a few people who've gone to the mines for inspections and other work from Nunavut and returned to Nunavut, and they've been isolated for 14 days or been advised if that happens, they have to isolate for the 14 days after they leave the mine before they return to general work. For general laborers or larger groups of people, that hasn't happened yet.
Isulit tabi hakti tayo yak man na uyag na abin mo hatak to tamakko kaw yesa kaya to hatak to Nunavut mo pala yung ulo ni 14 na inuto titaw kaya kakay na hatak sa mayot ang malo king ni nga go utilang may pataw yung na abin no kanaya kaya to tayo matsay na maligya kami